Well guys, this is a 2009 Silverado Chevy, I think. Yeah, 2009 with a 5.3 liter engine. Has the Misfire on cylinder number 4. You can see the active Misfire number 4. We can feel the Misfire. This is a friend of mine. He has replaced a coil and a spark plug on that cylinder, and that didn't change anything. And then he actually put the old coil back in. So right now I'm doing some checks with my Vantage. I'm just looking for the spark or KV. So I'm on the right now I'm just looking at the KV. This is a nice unit for this coil and plug system. I really like it. I don't have to pull a lot of stuff, just to kind of do this quick check and see if I have any activity on this coil at all. And so if you use this tool, you're going to have this ignition module. So you hook it up, the red lead goes to channel 1, the black lead goes to channel 3 and 4, and then you're going to have a pickup coil hooked up to this to KV cord. Okay, and so in this system we're going to go to a conventional ignition system. By just go back and show you. So when you go to conventional ignition, you press yes, and you can do like we can do the power KV, spark plug, KV, and burn time. I'm just going to do the power KV just to see if there's anything on this coil, and I'm actually hooked up on it right now, and I got nothing. Got no activity on this coil at all. So you can see here's my ignition probe, pickup probe. It's hooked up to that wire, ignition wire, spark plug wire, and I got nothing. So I'm going to go to a cylinder number 2. So I think it goes like a 2, 4, 6, and 8 on this side. So I'm going to go to this wire, and you can see we have a KV on this one. So it's like a 14 kV. That's normal. So I'm gonna start checking this coil and see what's going on here. All right, I got my. I'm checking the spark with my test light. I got the extension on my spark plug wire. It's really easy to get the check for a spark because the spark plug wire is too short. And I got my test light on battery ground here, and I'm checking the spark. I have a decent spark, so I'm not sure why I'm not seeing that on my Vantage. That's weird. Huh. All right. I'm on number 2 right now, and I see the same. I'm on spark KV. I'm just looking for activity on this coil, and I'm going back to number 4, and I still got nothing on it, even though I could clearly see the spark with my test light. I'm really confused. What is causing this? Is it a spark plug that's completely shorted or something? I mean, I should see something on it. I mean, burn time, I got nothing. May have to pick up, get my picoscope and see if I can pick it up something. Okay, here's my number 2 cylinder. I'm not sure about the scaling, but it looks like around average around 20 kV. It's a little high, but so let's go to a number 4 on the hill problem one. And can't even see it. I have to change my scaling here. Drop my KV, and there it is. Very low KV, which could be so that means low resistance, and can be a compression, maybe even an injector problem, maybe. Let's rev it up and see if if this changes at all. Okay, I'm gonna go to and let's a little bit longer time base. We can rev it up and see. Okay, and I'm just gonna turn off my trigger. I don't need it right now, so okay. Right here, and it's like 5 or 6 kV. I mean, it's very low kV. So let me see if I can zoom in and see what that looked like. This downslope could indicate bad injector that sprays too much fuel. So I'm hoping that's not compression, but this kind of indication that could be a fuel delivery issue where they sprays too much fuel. So let's. I hope that's not the case. Let's just take a look at it. I didn't have a chance to see a oxygen sensors or fuel stream and see if maybe the computer is taking the fuel away or doing something on this. The fault codes are only a P0300 and a mass airflow sensor, but mass airflow sensor, I noticed that it was unplugged when the truck got here. So let's custom this, and see bank, just put all the sensors, boot status, and long term and short term. Let's just see what's going on there. It's in the open loop. It's not even doing anything. And let's see. So we should be on a bank 2. Let's see oxygen sensors. Bank 1. It's actually. It's not. Oh, this is sensor 2. Okay, never mind. Let's see. Let's see these two guys. Bank 1, sensor 1, and bank 2. And wow. So the bank 2 is pretty rich, big time, and bank 1 is pretty lean. Wow. Now the question is, that the O2s are working at all, but this could kind of worried why we have such a lean bank 1. So the bank 2 should be one where the cylinder 4 is, so this could be a fuel injector that opens, sprays too much fuel. We are pretty rich on this side. Let's just make the vacuum leak and see if these O2 is going to react to vacuum leak. If I can find the and drop a little bit. Let me rev it up a couple of times. Okay, so bank 1, it's doing something, but then still run pretty lean on this side. We're in the open loop. I'm gonna do an injector balance test just to because it's pretty easy to do in these trucks anyway. You can do bi-directional control and see what I can do the relative compression test. What to do next? Let's do injector balance test. Okay, here's my relative compression test. I decided to do it. I'm just going to do this for the sake of the video so it doesn't take too long. So it's pretty much even, and I haven't heard much of a, you know, during the cranking. It's kind of weird. I think this spike is due to this ignition sink here. So this is sync from the cylinder number 2. I'm just yeah, so number 2. I'm just using the ignition wire to do my sync. It's easier, and come on, slide is gone. So just using my ignition pickup probe, and as we can see, I mean, it's pretty even. Here's the firing order: 18726 543 and 2468 on the passenger side, 1, 3, 4, and 7 on the driver's side. So it looks pretty good to me. I mean, I don't expect to see any compression issues. I mean, there would be let's see, 26543. So let me see. I mean, it looks pretty good. So we got started from 6. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry, guys. Started from 26543, and then 187. So this is my number 4 here, and that looks fine. So all right, let's just do injector balance test to see what happens there. Alright, so relative compression test looked okay. So before I did an injector balance test, I've decided to use a Stillman microphone, and just to see if I got it on the fuel rail right on top of it here. So we got one bank, another bank, and it's kind of connects 2 banks. I'm just kind of connecting the microphone right on top of the engine, and let's see if I can see any kind of a difference in amplitude. Now this is my number 4 injector. I'm just looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all 8 injectors firing. So everything seems to be okay. I don't see much of a difference. So here's the one next. There's a little bit higher amplitude, so I'm not sure, if this is gonna, the injector itself looks okay. I didn't do the current ramp, but I can see the pintle hump, so it is opening, of course. So now our problem, our question is it spraying too much fuel? And by looking at the this signal here, it seems to be okay. I don't see much of a discrepancy, I can put it straight on the injector. A little bit more details. And here's the I need to change the voltage scale a little bit. So this is when let's see here, I don't know why it's, oh, I know why. Let's see here. I think I got this all the way up, so here's the injector. This is when it opens, when it's closing, so it looked fine. Let's now do this. Now I'm gonna go. Let me go back. Yeah, I don't see anything obvious wrong with this injector at all. So, okay, well, let's just do injector balance test. Alright, well, let's do injector balance test. I got my pressure transducer hooked up, I got my scan tool ready, and I'm gonna do this hopefully real quick. Let's see if they're... Alright, well, let's just go through all these injectors and see if we can find something wrong with it. Okay, let's go. Injector 1. Injector 2. Alright. Three. Alright, here comes 4. There you go. Huh. Injector 5. Here comes 6. Seven. That's weird. 8. Okay. Let's stop this. This is pretty weird looking. So, these things are all over the place. So number 1 dropped 44 psi, and because it's we started with a higher pressure, but nice thing about the picoscope, doing a pressure transducer, doing the injector balance test with a scope, you know, you just go through and then you can so now I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so the number 1 dropped 44 psi. Number, see here, number 2 and number 3 are pretty much the same, and they dropped 33 psi, 37. And then number 4 is one that we have a misfire on. This is pretty weird. They got 26 psi, but it does kind of. I was thinking it's gonna spray more fuel than it. And then so this is gonna be so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's just do some filter in here a little better. So 5 and 6 are pretty much the same, and they drop 30. Huh. And then number 7 dropped 38. And then also number 8 was pretty close to it, 36, 37 psi. So now number 1, we started with a higher pressure. That might be a little bit inconclusive because the higher pressure may drop more, so I may have to redo this test again. But definitely this is kind of weird that it's a 4, 5 and 6, but they're on different bank, and so these three are the one that, you know, spraying the less fuel. But I'm really Let's start the track and see if I can do this again. If I can start with the same pressure with from number 1. So okay. Alright, let's start one more time. The trouble is I can't get this pressure. It starts with 58. See if I can drop it a little bit. So we can start with the. Okay, that might work. So I'm a little confused right now. So with this would be a lean condition on the cylinder number 4, which is contradictory. We have a rich condition on that bank, as well as you know, very low kV. We would have a high kV because of high resistance, because of lack of fuel. So really, I did not expect to see this at all. So maybe I should. Okay, let's just do this again and see what we can. Okay, let's just do number 1. Okay. No, it starts at 58. Okay. Last time it did not start with on the 58. Now it's. Huh. Well, this sucks, because the number 3 did not activate long enough. Now it's changing the. That's weird. Number 5. I don't know why it's doing this. It's not activating injectors at the same time. It's a glitch in the software. Number 7. Number 8. I have to repeat this. I mean, I know this is clearly problem with the. This isn't accurate. This is number 1, 2, 3, and 4. It just did not. It did not activate injectors. Oh Lord. Okay, I have to repeat this again. All right, let's try to do it again. See, inject number 1. All right. Number 2. That's better. Ow, why is doing this? Number 3. Number 4. Well, now looks okay. Number 5. Number 6. Number 7. Number 8. Okay. Well, this time it looked pretty much the same. So I know this isn't right because it's you know, there's some glitch in this software, and I don't know why. I never seen this before. It's just not activating injectors, you know, at the same time. But so 1, 2, 3, and 4, and this is my number 4. There's some, you know, it's not. So number 3 and number 4 dropped the same, 39 psi now. So I mean, I have that miss, so this should be, you know, conclusive for sure. So I'm gonna walk away from these injectors, and you know, this should be with a that low on or KV and that downslope and all that. This is not, you know, the second one was almost like kind of lean. It's just all messed up. I mean, I almost don't trust this test now because it's just not. But at least I can see that, you know, my injector 1, 2, 3, and 4, it's okay. I mean, I don't. This isn't gonna, you know, cause a dead misfire. So something else is going on. So I don't know. Okay, all right. Here's a quick shot of the spark plug. It's pretty wet. So I'm going to clean it up. The spark plugs are new, so obviously this one is not firing at all. The fuel injector is okay, so that might explain, of course, the reason why we have positive fuel trims on this bank. So okay. Alright, here's my, I decided to put the vacuum gauge on it, and I don't like the way it looks. It bounces a lot. This could be a compression issue for the sealing that intake valves are not sealing right. I'm not sure. My relative compression test was fine, but I don't like this at all. And yeah, so the vacuum kind of varies as the idle, like the idle changes, but yeah, this is not. All right. Okay, guys, I think I got my answer. I might have to do relative compression again. So what I did, I put my first look sensor, and I'm triggering from my injector number 4, one that we have a problem on, and here's what we got. This is pretty cool. So definitely a problem with the valves. So here's my number 2 here, number 2 here again. So we should have we should have 4 of these, actually 8 of these humps, but because of this pressure that's built up in intake, everything is screwed up. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we should have more, of course, in this area. So there's a huge pressure that's built up in the intake. So I mean, one problem that I have now, I'm trying to get my compression gauge, my hose, I cannot do it. I cannot get my compression hose in. I pulled the spark plug, you know, when I pulled the spark plug out, you know, I was trying to get my hose to get my compression. I cannot do it. I'm not sure why. The angle is kind of goofy on it. I'll have to do it again, but this is definitely a problem with the valves. We could see that on the gauge as well. So actually, this is the first time I'm using the first look sensor for this kind of diagnostic. I'm not good at it, but you know, basically it was just kind of compare all these humps, and this is a problem. So let's see. Let's see if I can take the spark plug out again, and maybe put the camera in and see what we can see. All right. Okay, so I tried a camera. That didn't work because of this, the way this, you know, the configuration of the engine. The spark plug is in on the side. When I put the camera in, I could not invert it. I did, but I just couldn't see all the valves. So finally I was able to get my compression gauge on it, actually my pressure transducer with my gauge, and I also have a first look sensor hooked up so we can see the you know, pressure in the intake manifold. And this is my cranking waveform. So this, what we should see on a first look sensor, we should see 8 equal humps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're fine. So my compression, this is, you know, one that I have a problem. This is number 4, 104 psi. Everything nice and even. And now the vacuum, it's let's see here. It's 7 psi, which is 14 inches of vacuum, which is a little bit too much, I believe. And I think this is a sealing, you know, problem. So again, I'm still learning about all this stuff. Now all the peaks are they're pretty even. I don't see any problems there. But I mean, you know, we can see that everything on a first look sensor, all the valves look the same, even though there's a little bit here. Actually, let's zoom in a little bit more. Come on. Right, and then let's see. So, well, I'm not sure. This is right when the come on now. I'm not sure. I mean, I did my relative compression test off camera, and I just don't know how I had that. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. See, 1, 2, 3. I got one too much. 4. Okay, so here's when my so I don't know. I mean, I'm not good with these kind of testing, whatever. But you know, this, you know, with my relative compression test, everything looked okay. You know, I mean, it's fine. My compression is good. I mean, I'm not losing. I'm not sure what the other cylinders are, but you know, over 100 psi. That's, you know, it's a little low on the low side, but it's pretty even. And so here's the time when you know, intake valves open on this. You know, and this is where you have this little, you know, little dip, and we got the same thing here as well. So a little bit different here on the first look sensor. I cannot overanalyze this. I'm not sure I can see the same thing here, but this is a little lower than it needs to be, I guess. I don't know. So let's do a running compression test with the first look sensor, all this, and see what we're gonna have. So definitely, I mean, it's a nice even compression. Yet we have a, you know, dead miss. So okay, so let's I'm gonna move all this a bit away, and okay, I'm gonna start it up now. So that's pretty crazy. So here we have a peak compression, 134 psi. You know, next revolution went to 85, and then 55, and that went pretty much down to nothing. And now let's see if we can zoom in on this one, and if I can get some sense out of this. So this is where we have this huge spike in a intake manifold, the pressure in the intake manifold. I have never seen anything like it. Again, I'm not an expert when it comes to you know, this kind of testing or whatever. I mean, I mean, definitely. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit more. So oh boy, this is crazy. Well, I mean, here's my compression, here's my exhaust, and why when the intake valves are opening, we have this huge spike. So that has to be an intake valve that's shut. But why it's okay during the cranking, but it's not working the way it's supposed to running? That's why my relative compression test was fine. Everything is okay during cranking, but the running is just not there. You know, honestly, guys, I've done this off camera, and I was like, is my pressure gauge fine? What the hell? I mean, it's just, how is this possible? I mean, literally, I have a zero. Here's my exhaust, and I'll minus. I mean, it's just it's zero. It's nothing there. Now let's see what the vacuum is during. Wow, I got 24. I mean 12 psi, which is 24 inches of vacuum. So that's now, yeah. I mean, this is it. I mean, this is obvious. But now I'm so excited to hear from you guys, to understand, you know, how this compression, how could we lose this compression during running? I mean, honestly, I mean, I was shocked when I've seen this. And that's why my relative compression test was okay. I have never seen anything like it. I mean, where did I go? I mean, we can see here that, you know, maybe, yeah, I mean, you know, the first look sensor was okay, you know, on the cranking waveform, but you know, right there at the running compression, it's just you're just all over the place. And I mean, we just lost pressure down straight to nothing. So this is where I'm going to stop. I'm not going to do anything else to it. You know, doing the leak down test, I don't think it's needed. I mean, we got all the evidence that we need that this is a upper engine issue. And you know, my suspicions, of course, are intake valves. Unfortunately, my camera, you know, one that I invented it the other, you know, a couple months ago, that I can actually bend it. It worked okay, but because the way this engine was, you know, the spark plug is kind of here, and it just didn't really work. I mean, this actually works pretty good on if the spark plug is right on top of the you know, cylinder, but you know, because it's on the side, it just doesn't work that well. So, but anyway, again, this is where I'm going to stop. I'm not going to do anything else to it. And okay, that should be it. I'm really, you know, this is the first time that relative compression test is some kind of variable that I'm I'm not exactly sure what it is. I mean, obviously it's a valve, but why that happens only during running? I mean, you know, it's one of the nice thing about the running compression test. I mean, this will be really tough to find. I mean, you do your compression test, and you will build up the compression. You know, it's on 110 or whatever. That might be a little bit low than it should be, but it's enough to keep engine running. But you know, as soon as you start the engine, compression drops to zero. So I think, I mean, this is the first time. I'm so excited. I mean, I hate to bring the bad news to owner of this car, a friend of mine, but you know, I think I believe that these trucks do have these kind of problems with valves, burnt valves or whatever, and we'll see what happens. But okay, I'm gonna stop talking now. I hope some of you guys are gonna be able to explain it to me what do we see here for sure, but definitely problem on the I would say, my guess is the intake valve. I'm not gonna do any other compression tests on other cylinders. I don't think it's needed. But I think this is pretty cool. I mean, you know, I'm so happy that it get to me that I used. This is the first time I'm using the first look sensor. I never did it before. The first time I actually used a vacuum gauge for, you know, and it's a good lesson for me. You know, just do the easy stuff. You know, hook up and see, you know, what's going on in it. But I don't know. That's all for now, and I hope you guys are gonna enjoy this video, and see you next time. Thank you. Bye bye.